NFL mailbag coming up. Before we dive into your questions, who's the most surprising team so far? Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Harrison, quick answer.
Most surprising, Jags.
There we go. From Zach's Basscaster, who trades for Allen Robinson?
Put me on the spot. I didn't even have time there. Nobody, because the Bears aren't going to do the wrong thing.
Cowardly answer, but probably
right. And by the way, they're 2-0. Like, you don't
They
trade,
are. That's true.
You don't trade your number one receiver in a year where you're trying to win and you're trying to find out if Mitchell Trubisky's any good at all. It makes no sense.
All right. From my burner account, if the Falcons lose to the Bears, will Dan Quinn be fired?
Yes and no, because I don't think beating the
That's
Bears
not an answer.
Beating the Bears doesn't save Dan Quinn. He's got to do a lot more than that.
I think he means in the immediate aftermath of the game. I think no.
I don't think so.
I don't think
Arthur
3 weeks is enough
Blank
time.
really likes Dan Quinn. He's going to give him every opportunity, so I think he's going to get at least 5 or 6 weeks here. If you start 0-5, maybe the conversation's different.
From Big Play Slay, since the Cowboys don't have a lot of cap space next year, I think they just cut a lot of players.
You take this.
Look, they will have to release some players. Tyrone Crawford's not going to be back at anything close to his current cap hit. The Cowboys, though, their roster is in okay shape looking ahead. They've been able to free up money for Dak Prescott.
By the way, how many years in a row is this? Oh, they'll restructure Crawford at some point.
Yeah, well, he's a free agent, so they can't do it. I think the teams that are going to cut the most players are probably going to be the Saints and the Eagles.
Philadelphia's got a lot of problems on their salary.
The Eagles have negative cap space. The Cowboys are at least above it. So you will see players get cut if there is a salary cap dip. From Ryan Wilson, are my Chargers a playoff team with Justin Herbert at the helm?
If he plays like he did yesterday, they are. Look, with Denver on Sunday, in week 2, the way they played against the Chiefs. Look, Tom, with Denver falling apart with injuries, I'm not convinced the Raiders are good. There's opportunity here for the Chargers, especially with an extra AFC team. That defense is good. They gave Kansas City and Mahomes fits for about 2.5 or 3 quarters. They deserve a lot of credit. If Herbert's the guy and Anthony Lynn decides he's sane, they got a shot here.
So who should start for the Chargers going forward? This will be the pinned comment on today's video. So if you get the ad break here on YouTube, scroll on down, get your votes in. It's JH for Justin Herbert, TT for Tyrod Taylor. From Will Walter, do you think Hurt should step in for Carson Wentz? Harrison, take this one.
No, but I want to see it because I want to see chaos in Philly.
Look, the Eagles spent a second-round pick on a quarterback. Historically speaking, when you make that decision, he becomes your guy.
But he's Taysom Hill.
But he's not, though.
I know. That's what everybody said, though. Oh, we're not drafting him to replace Wentz. He's just going to be our Taysom Hill.
First off, if
why did you draft Taysom Hill in the second round?
Thank you. Wentz has been bad. I know there are injuries up front. Wentz has held the ball way too long, by the way. I don't think you make that move, but the Eagles have invited this controversy by taking Hurts so early.
As soon as they drafted Jalen Hurts, they self-generated a quarterback controversy, whether they want one or not.
From Jake Odell, who do you think will be a replacement for Frank Clark if he's sick or ends up with COVID?
Okay, so I got this question on my Chiefs mailbag. He left with an illness yesterday, which, by the way, Frank Clark tweeted today saying, got some fluids in me, feeling a lot better, so it doesn't seem anything serious. The bigger question is, Frank Clark dealt with stomach issues last year for the Chiefs, and he didn't practice a lot of time, missed a couple of games. Look, if he had COVID, we'd know about it. Like, the NFL's not messing around when it comes to the coronavirus. And by the way, he played the first half yesterday. It's not like they found out in the middle of the game, oh, Frank Clark has COVID. That's not how it works. So I think he's going to be fine. I'll have it monitored for you guys on the Chiefs Report, youtube.com/ChiefsTV. But I don't think there's anything overly concerning here.
From Nolan, who is better, Trevon Diggs or Kristian Fulton?
I like what I've seen from Diggs. I haven't watched Fulton much yet.
I've been able to. Fulton already has 1 interception this year. I've been fairly impressed by the job that Fulton has done, and not as much playing time compared to Trevon Diggs. I will make note, it's only been 2 games, and I like Fulton more coming out. So
I will say they've thrown Diggs into the fire here and basically
they really
said,
have.
You're our number 1 corner, and he should have at least one pick, if not two.
He dropped the one,
and he's been really close to a couple of PBUs. That will come, I think. I like what I've seen.
I think both these guys are going to be good at NFL corners.
Yeah.
Now, you would know how I felt about Kristian Fulton and Trevon Diggs if you guys were subscribed, because we were live for the entire NFL draft, breaking down every single pick. If that's something you might like to enjoy, well, then subscribe. And if you already have, thank you all very much. Type sub for me in the comment section if you guys are already subscribed. I would appreciate it. Shout out Jeff Rogers, Brokoff, JB97 for already typing in their subs. I don't want to do this question. Harrison, do it.
Dallas gives first to get Chaz the Wall Green. I love the humor here. This is brilliant. By the way, you say you don't want to do this. We all know you're running that account, Tom.
First off, it's not my account. Also, for background information here, Chaz Green is still in the NFL. He's on the Colts roster.
Yeah, for you guys who constantly
which is wild to me.
For you guys who are always like, how do you not get better offensive linemen? There's such a shortage of quality backup offensive linemen in the NFL. Chaz Green has a job. Cam Fleming has a job. Cam Irving would be starting if he was healthy. That's a problem. I don't know how you solve that problem if you're the NFL, but there's just not a lot of depth there.
From IDE Bomber, predictions on Seahawks versus the Cowboys. Also, Seattle's pass rush is awful. Any trade ideas for the Hawks that they could do to improve that pass rush? So prediction first here.
Peak Cowboys would be winning this game after they've been totally outplayed in 2 games and just haven't looked good. They've had success in Seattle, but
would be peak Cowboys.
Look, Seattle looks like a really good team. That defense has struggled, but for Dallas to fly up there and win after the way they've looked through 2 weeks, I think it's advantage Seahawks. If you're a Dallas fan, don't freak out if you lose this game. Just be happy you'll be 1-2 and not 0-3.
Exactly.
You were staring 0-3 in the face.
I got the Seahawks winning this one 37-33 over the Cowboys. Trade ideas? Pick up the phone, call Washington, try and get Ryan Kerrigan on that team. From I Expose You, could the Niners be back at the top of the draft due to injuries?
No, they're loaded with talent even with the injuries. I mean, how bad are the Jets, by the way, where the 49ers are just losing guys left and right. They've got like 12 healthy bodies, and they beat the Jets 31-13. Like, that's the bigger problem there. Jets are getting the number 1 pick, so you can put that one to rest. The Niners, I think if everything falls apart, Jimmy G's injury is worse than we think, that's still like a 7 or 8 win team. Like, it would have to be so bad for that team to be in the mix for the number 1 pick.
From Johnny Lopez, how do all these injuries affect power rankings over the next few weeks?
It's hard. Mitch, Tom, and I are going to put together a list tonight after Monday Night Football, and Tom will have that film for you guys early in the morning. Another reason to subscribe. I'll take a look at it, but it's more result-based for me. Like what's going to happen in today's game? What's happened through 2 weeks? Sure, you factor it in a little bit, but like if a guy's out for the year, it's not like you're going to be like, well, they don't have this guy. If anything, that hurts that team, right? Like, I don't think you can put too much weight into that.
From David Renteria, he says, Cardinals playoffs, I'm going to throw in bound ?
If you start 2-0, historically, your chances of making the playoffs are very good, especially now that there's an extra wild card spot. I love Arizona. The way they've played has been impressive. Kyler Murray is an MVP candidate. This is a team to watch for the rest of this season. And quite frankly, they might win the NFC West. It's possible.
The issue is that the Rams and Seahawks are also both 2-0.
Rams
and it's not like the Niners are going to collapse this year.
The NFC West and NFC East could not be more different. It's total opposites.
From Laura, after the first 2 weeks, are the Steelers contenders?
They have a championship defense. I don't think there's any doubt. Jeff Driscoll did make some plays against them, but I like that defense. They kind of messed around with Denver.
A little close for my liking.
I got to see what does Big Ben do for the next few weeks. That is what I want to see for the Steelers moving forward. That's a good question. I think they're like a secondary contender.
Okay.
They're not one of the top flight contenders, but they're in that second group of teams.
From EB, do you think DK Metcalf is the strongest receiver in the league and the best sophomore receiver?
I mean, Terry McLaurin's pretty good. He's pretty good.
A.J. Brown's pretty good, too. There are a lot of good ones from that class.
That receiver class from a year ago is really good. I think this year's class is really good, too. It'll be fun to watch these guys develop. Metcalf is right up there in the mix. I can't definitively say he's the best, but he is very good.
From the Ultimate Sports TV, who is the MVP frontrunner?
I think there's 4 or 5 guys, but I would put Russell Wilson number 1.
After 2 weeks,
He's been awesome. He's been really good.
They are finally letting Russ cook, and good things have happened in Seattle. I hope they continue to. That offense is really carrying what has not been a very good defense so far. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Russ as well.